Hi, good morning, all of you. So in our previous class, we calculated the mutual inductance of different combinations, and then we discussed about effective inductance. When two or more inductors are connected in series and parallel, we calculated that effective inductance, right? So now, based on this inductance calculations, some other arrangements are there. So after that, I will discuss that LR circuits. So first let us see some of the problems based on this inductance calculation. So one of such a problem is like, so if you are taking this two long cables like this, these are placed parallel to each other, and then we need to calculate inductance per unit length between these two wires. So just note down that problem. Two long cylindrical wires, each of radius A, are placed parallel to each other at separation D. If current is flowing in both the conductors in opposite direction, find inductance per unit length in between the two conductors. So like such a capacitor problems we solved in current electrostatics, like in capacitors, like when two spheres are separated by some distance, then we calculated the capacitance between them. Now this is also such a similar calculation here. We need to calculate this inductance. So for inductance, we know we need to calculate the magnetic flux here. So for this, you may consider the small element here. Suppose I am taking this small element. Suppose say this is at a distance of x from this here, and this width of this element is, let us take it as dx, and this length, let us assume that as L. It is actually, they are very long here. We are calculating inductance per unit length. So this length I am assuming, this element length I am assuming it as L. Now as the current is flowing in this conductor, then it will produce. We know for inductance calculation means we need to do this flux calculation only. So then, so current passing is along this direction, so it will produce a magnetic field into the plane here. So that means then here this B1 is into the plane. B1 means magnetic field produced by this. And then similarly, let us calculate magnetic field produced by this. So then this is B2. So then B2 will be again into the plane here. Now current in this is flowing in downward direction. Current in both the conductors is in opposite direction. And so now it is into the plane here. And so now B2 is also into the plane. Right? And so now the net magnetic field I am writing here. Therefore this net magnetic field is B1 plus B2. So now both are in same direction, so we need to add them. So B1 is magnetic field due to this, so which you can write this as mu naught I by 2 pi x, plus B2 is nothing but mu naught I by 2 pi into d minus x, right? And therefore this net magnetic field, what we can write there is mu naught I by 2 pi, you can take common, and this is x 1 by x plus 1 by d minus x we can write. And so now let us write the flux through the small element here. So flux through small element. So flux through the small element means we can write this as d phi is equal to b into dA. And so this is d phi is equal to b is nothing but mu naught I by 2 pi into 1 by x plus 1 by d minus x into that dA, area of this element you need to write, so that we can write this as L into dx. And so to calculate this total flux, you can write this as mu naught I by 2 pi into L into integral of 1 by x dx plus integral of 1 minus d by d minus x dx. And so now you can take this limits of this x here. The x varies from say a to d minus a. So then here this x varies from a to d minus a. So it is a variation of our x. That means because we are calculating in between the two conductors only, not inside. We are not considering inside the conductor. So then this is only this from here to here we need to calculate. So that means here means then it will be x is equal to a, and this point means x is equal to d minus a. So now let us integrate this. So mu naught I into L by 2 pi. Here you know the first term you will get like ln d minus a by a you will get, because ln x, and then limits I am substituting there. And for this it is minus ln, you need to write this expression here, like I can write this as a by, sorry it is a by, that means if you substitute this d minus a, instead of x, if you substitute the d minus a, then you will get a upper limit, and this lower limit will be d minus a. Now you can write, and we are getting minus here because the ln minus ln x you will get actually there, ln d minus x you will get directly. I am substituting that limits there, and therefore this expression now we can write this as mu naught I into L by 2 pi into, so this you can write it as ln d minus a by a whole square, you can write there. So then that we can write this as into 2 I am writing here. So then 2 into I am writing here, right? So this you can reverse and you can write it as square of that, and then I am writing that here the 2. So therefore this flux you can write this as mu naught I into L by pi into ln d minus a by a. And so then this value, you know that flux value is equal to Li you can write here, and so therefore this L is equal to inductance is equal to L into I, we are taking that as capital I. So then I will be cancelled, then mu naught into L by pi into ln d minus a by a. And so then generally they will ask for such a problems, they will ask like inductance per unit length, and so I can write this as inductance per unit length. So inductance per unit length L by L you can write this as mu naught by pi into ln d minus a by a. So that is our inductance per unit length, right? And such as some more problems will be there, like inductance per unit length calculation. So let us see those problems now. Next I can say coaxial cable they will ask. Coaxial cable, or it is nothing but cylindrical, two cylindrical shells. So then here let us consider see the next problem. So let us consider the two cylindrical concentric shells are there carrying current in opposite direction. That is, sometimes they will mention like it as a coaxial cable here. So this is the thing, this coaxial cable will be there, so that current will flow in inner direction in one and outer direction in another way. Like suppose in the inner shell it is flowing out here like this, then on the outer shell the current will be there flowing inwards. And so then you need to calculate this inductance per unit length between these two. Let us take this inner radius is A and outer radius is B I am taking here. So next write that problem. Consider two coaxial cylindrical shells, two coaxial long cylindrical shells carrying current I in opposite directions. Find inductance per unit length of this arrangement. inductance per unit length of this arrangement. That means the same question they will give it as in a coaxial cable. Coaxial cable means that arrangement will be there like this. In coaxial cable, say current will flow in one direction to the any device, and then from the device it will come back in opposite direction there. So in such an arrangement we can use that. So then in such a case they will ask like what is the inductance per unit length of such an arrangement, they will ask. Inductance per unit length and let us also calculate, to mention that also find the energy stored in between the two cylindrical shells. Also find the energy stored in between the two cylindrical shells, right? So we need to calculate energy, magnetic energy in the sense energy as well as inductance per unit length. So I will do first one thing here. First I will calculate this magnetic energy. Because in the beginning when we are discussing about the magnetic energy stored in the inductor like half Li square and energy density calculations, there I said we can derive the inductance with the help of this energy also, right? So now let us see that inductance calculation from the energy. And so then first let us find the energy. So after that I will explain the inductance calculation there. So then to find this energy, we know we need to use the magnetic energy formula here. So for that we need to consider a cylindrical element here. First I am doing this energy calculation. So this energy calculation I am considering here. So for that we are taking this a cylindrical shell, another cylindrical shell we are assuming here of say inner radius r and its thickness is dr, right? And so now at that position you may mention that consider a cylindrical consider a small cylindrical element of radius r and width dr. Now magnetic field at that position I am writing here. So B value we can write that as mu naught I by 2 pi small r. So magnetic field in the region of the cylindrical element, what we are assuming in that region we need to write. So for that region the magnetic field due to this outer cylindrical shell will be 0. So actually you need to write this magnetic field as, so B1 plus B2 we need to write. So B2 is B2 is outer cylindrical shell. So now magnetic field due to this outer cylindrical shell will be 0. That we know from the Ampere's law. Inside the hollow pipe the magnetic field will be 0. That means for this outer cylinder that will become a point inside the pipe, and so then magnetic field inside the pipe will be 0. And so only this inner shell will produce a magnetic, inner cylindrical shell will produce a magnetic field. So this is nothing but this expression here. So I can write this as mu naught I by 2 pi r, right? That means energy density formula I am using here. We know magnetic energy density. So magnetic energy density UB is equal to what we can write there is B square by 2 mu naught we can write. And so now energy present in the small cylindrical element I am writing here. Energy confined in small element. So du is equal to UB, energy density, into volume of that element we need to write. So therefore this energy present in small element is equal to B square by 2 mu naught into volume of that element we need to write. Volume of that element is nothing but what we can write there is 2 pi r dr into L. So 2 pi r dr means then you will get this cross section here. So this is the cross section. That means if you are observing the top view, then you will get this cross section like this cross section. So 2 pi r dr is a cross section. Into this length let us consider it as L. So then 2 pi r into L. And to get this total value we need to integrate this expression here. So then U is equal to integral of B square. B square is mu naught I by 2 pi r whole square by 2 mu naught into 2 pi r dr into L, right? So this is the thing here, and we need to integrate from A to B, because we need to integrate from here to here. In between the two shells we are calculating there, and therefore this energy you can write this as so you may write the constants outside there. So one constant like here 2 and 2 you can cancel, and then here this or 2 pi r will be cancelled. Then you can write this as mu naught will be one constant will be there outside, and L is there outside. And here totally, instead of cancelling this 2, I can do one thing here. Here one 2 pi r will be there, 2 pi r whole square, then here one 2 pi r will be cancelled. So another 2 pi will be there. So that 2 pi and another 2 is there. So totally here 4 pi. And then the remaining constants will be there, like I is also I square also you can write outside there. So I square, then integral of that r terms we need to write there. So which is nothing but dr by r. So here r square will be there, and here only one r is there. One r will be cancelled, and you will get r square, right? And so that now this you can write this limits as from A to B, and therefore this energy density we can write that as mu naught L into I square by 4 pi into ln B by A, and so this is U is equal to mu naught L by 4 pi into ln B by A into I square. So let us keep this value here. So then I will explain after deriving this inductance there. After deriving this inductance, then I will explain how to find the inductance from this, right? So let us keep that energy expression. That means energy calculation is completed for us. Energy confined between the two shells is nothing but that expression here. That is the energy confined in between the two shells. Now from this, how to calculate this inductance means just we need to combine this value with this half Li square there. So that means now you can compare with we know energy stored in inductor, we can write this as U is equal to half Li square, right? So now compare these two equations there. So from this what we can write there is from 1 and 2. So then L by 2 is equal to, so this side you will get like mu naught L by 4 pi into ln B by A. So this is nothing but our L by 2 value. Instead of this L by 2, that expression is there. So therefore this L is equal to what you can write there is mu naught L by 2 pi into ln B by A. So this is a mutual that means inductance per inductance there. And if they are asking inductance per unit length, then you can write small l this side. So that I can write this as inductance per unit length value as L by L is equal to, now it is mu naught by 2 pi into ln B by A. That means if they ask inductance per unit length, then we need to answer this one, right? So it is inductance per unit length. So this is the way of another way of calculating that. Instead of doing this flux calculation, you can find the energy like this, and from that energy method also, now you can calculate the inductance like this. Now let us calculate by our general method. If you want to calculate this inductance without using this energy, our general method is flux calculation. So then for that you may consider this flux calculation like this. So that means if you want to follow our usual method to find this inductance here. So this is our cylindrical element. That means this is the given shell arrangement I am taking here. So now let us take a small element here, and then let us write flux passing through this here. So that means there we are taking a small planar element there. So then this is our small element here. Say at a distance of x from this, or let it be r from this, and this width is dr I am taking there, dr. Now let us write the flux passing through that small element there. So the magnetic field will be, this inner shell is carrying current outward direction and this outer shell is carrying current in this inward direction there. And so therefore what we can write there is magnetic field at that point is mu naught I by 2 pi r we can write. Again the same here, the magnetic field only due to this inner shell will be there. So this calculation will be same here. Then next after this our usual calculation is we need to calculate the flux. That means now we are taking this a plane in between the two shells we need to consider here. So in that plane we need to calculate the flux passing there. So then I am writing this flux through the small element. Flux through small element. So that is d phi is equal to b into dA, now we can write. So therefore it is d phi is equal to that b value is mu naught I by 2 pi r into d phi is nothing but L into dr. Right? That length of this element is L, that is I said it's a rectangular. Now this element is not cylindrical, that you need to note here. I am saying that it is in between the two pipes, you will get a plane. It is in the diametric plane of those two cylinders there, right? So in between the two shells, we are taking a small element like this, a planar element, that element is. And so now you can write this expression as phi is equal to mu naught I by 2 pi L into this variation is only variable is R here. So then R varies from A to B. And therefore this flux is equal to mu naught IL by 2 pi into ln B by A you will get. And you know this value we need to compare with flux is equal to Li equation. And then you can calculate, you can write this L value here. Therefore L is equal to mu naught into L by 2 pi into ln B by A, right? So which is nothing but what we got previously here. So that means either you can calculate energy method like this or you can follow our usual flux method like this. That means from energy calculation also we can do this inductance here. We can find the inductance or inductance per unit length, from this you can write there. So inductance per unit length is mu naught by 2 pi into ln B by A. So this is only that inductance per unit length, right? So like that you can do that such a calculations there. I will give the another problem and you solve that problem. That is said to be the double tape. So this is one plane will be there, so another plane will be there like this, another that means these are parallel only, parallel arrangement or one above the other. Actually this arrangement is nothing but the double tape, in the sense one plane will be there and other plane will be there. Above that, parallel to that, and other plate will be there, right? So then this width I am taking it as B. Width of this plane is B. And so now this double plane is carrying current in opposite direction here. Suppose I is a current flowing in that, and from this that I will come out here, right? And then this the other dimensions, then this height I am taking it as H. That means the gap between them. So the same question here, then inductance per unit length we need to calculate there. So just mention that. Consider that means a double tape, each of width B separated by a distance H, each of width B separated by a distance H, carries current I in opposite direction, carries current I in opposite direction. Find inductance per unit length, inductance per unit length of this arrangement, inductance per unit length of this arrangement. So actually the magnetic field due to this plain current carrying conductor we already discussed it at the Ampere's law. In Ampere's law applications we already discussed about magnetic field due to this plain current carrying conductor. So then use that formula and from that derive the expression for this magnetic induction. That means that means inductance. Flux calculation. Use the flux calculation method, then you will get this easily. Next in that in this topic, let us see this LR circuits here. So it means LR DC circuits. So LR circuits means these are similar to that of our CR circuits here. In resistor, that means in capacitors topic we discussed after completion of capacitors we discussed about CR circuits. Now these CR circuits and this LR circuits are now similar to that of our CR circuits here. So in this again two cases will be there, like growth of current and decay of current. So first I am taking this growth of current. So let us take this growth of current here. So that means now here an inductor and a resistor are connected in parallel. Through a cell and a switch, right? And so now let us take this inductance of this circuit is L and this is R is the resistance and this is the switch. And then now this EMF of the cell I am taking it as some E here, or let it be some V naught. V. In the EMF of that cell I am taking it as V, right? And so now initially the switch is open, it is open for long time, so that there is no any current in that circuit there. Now when the switch is closed at t is equal to 0, now if this inductor is not there, then current flowing through the resistance will be, you can say directly it as V by R, right? If V is the EMF of that cell, then directly you can write this as V by R. But when the inductor is present, the current does not reaches to V by R instantaneously. That is the important point you need to observe here, or you need to note here. When this inductor is not there, when only resistance is there, just immediately after closing the switch, the current will rise to its peak value or the maximum value almost instantaneously. Like a maximum value is nothing but V by R we can say. But when inductor is there, it does not reaches that peak value instantaneously, because the inductor will oppose the change in current. Inductor will oppose the change in current. If current is increasing, then it will oppose that increasing current. That is nothing but which we discussed the self-induction. So self-induced EMF will be produced in that inductor, and so that it will oppose the change in current. If current is increasing, then it will try to decrease the current. If current is decreasing, then it will try to increase the current. And because of that reason, this inductor is whenever inductor is present, so current values doesn't change instantaneously, it will take some time there. And so then for all such a problems, now these problems are similar to that of our CR circuits, as I said. Just you need to apply that Kirchhoff laws here. Just by applying the Kirchhoff laws, you can solve the problems based on this. And so let at any instant let I be the current flowing through this here, and di by dt is the rate of change of current. So just mention that. First describe the situation there. Consider an inductor of inductance L, an ideal inductor. Ideal inductor in the sense itself it doesn't possess any resistance there. So mention that one. Consider an ideal inductor of inductance L is connected in series with a resistance R. This combination is connected across a cell. This combination is connected across a cell of EMF V, cell of EMF V, and negligible internal resistance. Negligible internal resistance. The switch S is initially kept open. The switch initially kept open, and it is closed at t is equal to 0. And it is closed at t is equal to 0. Let I be the current flowing through the Let I be the current flowing through the circuit at any instant of time t, and which is changing at a rate of di by dt. So then by KVL means Kirchhoff voltage law, Kirchhoff second law. So now we need to apply the Kirchhoff second law. All these problems are based on that Kirchhoff second law only. So now let us see this. So now we are applying the Kirchhoff second law for the inductor. For inductor, how to apply the Kirchhoff second law means we discussed already. So for inductor, just we need to write this minus L into di by dt. Right? So that is our potential difference across the inductor. We are applying in the direction of this current only. And so then minus IR plus V is equal to 0. Right? So just rearrange the terms here. So L into di by dt is equal to V minus IR. So just by rearranging the terms, you can integrate this. So di by V minus IR is equal to, you can write this as dt, and L also you can write this side actually here. L is a constant, that inductance, that I am writing that side. So right now let us integrate this equation here. So then this side current varies from 0 to I, and this side current, the time is from 0 to t. So at any instant of time t, we are assuming this current as I, right? So now let us write this integration here. So ln V minus IR by minus R, the coefficient, and these limits are from 0 to I. And this side you will get like t by R, right? So then you can write this value that side. So I can write this as ln V minus IR by V is equal to minus RT by L, right? So yes, this R value I am writing that side. And so now this rearrange a term, this is now logarithmic form, we will convert this into exponential form here. So then it is V minus IR by V is equal to e power minus RT by L. And therefore from this we need the I expression there, so that I can write this as V minus IR is equal to V into e power minus RT by L, and therefore this I is equal to V by R into 1 minus e power minus RT by L. So now this is our current expression here, current at any instant of time. Is it clear? Now this is similar to that of in CR circuits, charge at any instant of time we will get some expression in terms of this Q. So now this expression is now similar to that. So now this is the current expression at any instant of time. Now we can observe that now if I ask is it increasing or decreasing with the time, means just you can verify those values at t is equal to 0 and t is equal to infinity. So just I am writing at t is equal to 0. Then this I value is, so t is equal to 0 means then you can write this t value 0 here, then e power 0, 1 you will get. So 1 minus 1, 0 you will get. So that this current is 0. And at t is equal to infinity, then I is equal to e power minus infinity. If you substitute here, then e power minus infinity you will get. E power minus infinity is nothing but 0, then therefore I is equal to V by R you will get. So right, so that is our expression here. That means current is initially 0, so then after infinite time then it becomes constant, so which is V by R. And so then if you are representing here it graphically, then we can represent like this. So this is I versus t. So now it is increasing gradually here. This is our maximum value, possible value, which is V by R. So then it is increasing there. That means that is nothing but growth. So that means this expression I can write this as I is equal to I naught maximum value or peak value. I naught into 1 minus e power minus RT by L you can write, where I naught is nothing but V by R, maximum current or the peak current. right? So that is nothing but this. So then it will goes on increasing gradually there, and it will become I naught after infinite time there. So it is a growth of current here, right? So this is the current through the inductor in this LR circuit at any instant of time. When initially there is no current, and when current starts increasing, then you can write like this. And then here we define this time constant here, inductive time constant. So previously we defined already time constant for the CR circuits, that there I mentioned it, that we called capacitive time constant. And now here we call this as inductive time constant here. Inductive time constant. So that is again represented with this tau. You can represent it as tau L, just we can tau is sufficient there. So now this inductive time constant means, then if I substitute that at t is equal to L by R. So that means at this time if I calculate the current, then current flowing through that we can write this as I is equal to V by R into, or which is nothing but I naught, maximum current. So that means I naught into 1 minus e power minus 1 you will get, right? If you substitute the t is equal to L by R, then you will get this as minus 1. And therefore this expression I can write this as I is equal to I naught into, this will be approximately 0.63 you will get. And so now therefore this time constant we can define it as time taken. Now this is nothing but, now we call this time constant here. So the time taken by this current to increase its value to 63% of the maximum current. So that we call that as time constant there. Therefore this time constant is equal to time constant tau is equal to L by R. So now that L by R is nothing but we call time constants. You may check dimensionally also, you will get that the dimensions of L by R as second t. So now just mention the definition there, after that 0.63 I naught. Therefore time taken by the current, after this expression, time taken by the current to increase its value to 63% of maximum current. 63% of maximum current is called inductive time constant. Right? And so now here in terms of the time constant, if you are writing this equation there, so just mention that time constant is equal to L by R. So now in terms of the time constant, you can write this I is equal to I naught into 1 minus e power minus t by tau, right? This is R by L, so that means that you can write this as 1 by tau here from this equation or from this equation. So that means then we need to express in terms of the time constant like this. I is equal to I naught into 1 minus e power minus t by tau we can write. So that is our expression for this current at any instant as a function of this time constant. Now if you are writing this growth of current, that means rate of change of current, if you are writing for example, then let us write this rate of growth of current. So rate of growth of current. Rate of growth of current is nothing but just we need to write this as di by dt value. So let us differentiate this equation now. So I is equal to I naught, that means V by R into, what we can write there is either V by R or V by R is nothing but I naught there. So then e power minus RT by L. So then let us find this di by dt here. So the di by dt is nothing but what we can write there is V by R into R by L into e power minus RT by L, right? That means one differentiation is 0, then minus you will get, and after internal differentiation minus R by L you will get. So minus of minus plus you will get there. So therefore this is di by dt is equal to v by L into e power minus RT by L. So now this is our rate of growth of current here. Now this rate of growth of current at t is equal to 0 if I write. At t is equal to 0. This rate of growth of current is nothing but di by dt at t is equal to 0 is v by L, right? So that is nothing but we will get that value as v by L. So that is our rate of growth of current at t is equal to 0 there, right? And so now if you want to calculate, mention that if this current is increasing at a rate which is equal to the initial current, initial value, if the current is increasing at that rate, then it will reaches the maximum value in a time of one time constant. Now we can mention here. So that is nothing but here in CR circuit also we will mention such a point here. So this is nothing but one time constant here. So one time constant is nothing but which is L by R, right? That means if you draw the tangent here at the initial point and if we extend the tangent here, it will touches this I naught value in a time of one time constant. That means this value will be equal to L by R. The meaning is nothing but if, for example, if current in the circuit is increasing at a constant rate. Now here you can observe that in original LR circuit, current is not increasing at a constant rate. The rate of growth of current goes on decreasing here. It is an exponential e power minus RT by L is there. So that rate of growth goes on decreasing there. And so now initially the maximum rate will be there. Maximum growth rate will be there. So now if the current is continuing to increase at the constant rate, if the current is increasing like initially the increasing rate at a rate of, for example, 2 amperes per second, the next instant if you consider it will be less than the 2 amperes per second you will get, and next instant if you will get further less than, for example, next second if you are getting like 1.8, next it will be less than 1.8, like 1.7, next it will be less than 1.7, the rate of growth will goes on decreasing like this. Now what we are assuming is if the rate of growth will remains a constant and it is equal to the maximum value, then the current will reaches to its maximum current in a one time constant there. So that is nothing but the meaning of this here, right? So just mention that. So then just mention that after this, if current is increasing at the constant initial rate of growth, then current in the circuit reaches its maximum value, in one time constant, or in a time of L by R, in the time of L by R. You can also mention like this. Just you need to write this as T is equal to I naught by I maximum by this di by dt you need to write. Di by dt at t is equal to 0. That's what I am saying. This I maximum is nothing but V by R. This di by dt is nothing but V by L. So that you will get this value as L by R. The time taken to reach its maximum current there, if the rate of growth is constant. And then another important thing here is the behavior of the inductor. So initially now you know from this I can say that initially this current is 0. That means the inductor does not allow this current here. So just mention that as a note here. So after that just mention that as a note. At t is equal to 0, this is a very important point here, the behavior of this inductor. For capacitor we mentioned already. At t is equal to 0, that is just after closing the switch, I is equal to 0. That we already mentioned here. By that equation, at t is equal to 0, I is equal to 0. That is just after closing the switch, inductor behaves as open circuit. Inductor behaves as open circuit, right? So that it does not allow any current there. Open circuit in the sense. Next, at t is equal to infinity. At t is equal to infinity, I is equal to V by R. Now, if for example inductor is not there in the circuit, then current flowing through the circuit is V by R. Now, even after inductor is present also, now we are getting the current as V by R. That indicates that there is no any role of this inductor. Is it clear? There is no any role of that inductor. So that means that is after infinite time. That means that we can call it as steady state. So just mention that at t is equal to infinity, I is equal to V by R. That is in steady state, inductor behaves like a short circuit. Inductor behaves like a short circuit. That is just as a conducting wire. Just as a conducting wire. Is it clear? So now for capacitor also we mentioned, there you need to observe that for capacitor it will be exactly the reverse. For t is equal to 0, capacitor will behave like an open circuit, and for t is equal to t is equal to 0, it will behave like a short circuit, and t is equal to 0, it will behave like a open circuit. Mention that also. Based on the combination of this L and C, they will ask the questions. Mention that point also. For in case of capacitor, it will behave as short circuit just after closing the switch. It will behave as short circuit just after closing the switch. And it will behave as open circuit in steady state. It will behave as open circuit in steady state. Next, mention one more point here. The role of inductor in electromagnetism is similar to that of inertia in mechanics. And so inductance is also called electrical inertia. Is also called electrical inertia. So in inertia means, in Newton's laws, in first year we discussed like the body is itself cannot change this state, or it will oppose the change in state. If you want to change the object from one state to another state, from rest to motion or from motion to rest, then there will be some opposition from that object. So that is nothing but we are calling it as inertia, inability of a body to change its state. So that means now that body, that indicates that is nothing but we can say it as an opposition from that body. That is why suppose if a bus is moving and if driver suddenly applies the brakes, we know we will fall in forward direction, because our body will continue its state. Initially before applying the brake, our body is in motion, that is moving in forward direction. So even driver applies the brakes, then our foot will come to the rest, but our body will try to continue its state. That means it will oppose the change in state there. So that is nothing but we are calling as inertia, right? Now similarly here this inductor will behave such a similar role. Whenever current is changing there, now it will oppose that. So it will oppose the current. Here you need to remember that inductor does not oppose the current. Inductor will oppose the change in current, whereas the resistance will oppose the current there. That is the difference between them. Inductor does not oppose the current. If current is constant, current is flowing, we discussed already, like a t is equal to infinity. When constant current is flowing, it will behave like just a conducting wire. There is no any particular role of that inductor. But once current is changing, then its importance will be there, right? So that means inductor will behaves like that. It will similar to that of our inertia. It will oppose the change in current. And you may mention that also inductor does not oppose the current. It will oppose the change in current. Next in this, we need to calculate like potential difference, energy stored, and do let us do such a calculations here, which we did for this CR circuits also. So now the potential difference across this inductor and potential difference across that resistance, let us write there. Potential difference across inductor, which is VL. And we know this potential difference across inductor is nothing but we can write this as VL is equal to L into di by dt, you can write. Right? So that L into di by dt value we mentioned already. So which is V by L into e power minus RT by L. Or you may take I expression and you can differentiate this. Just now previously we mentioned there. And therefore this potential difference across this inductor will be V into e power minus RT by L you will get. This is the potential difference across this inductor. So that means now it is goes on decreasing here. If you draw the graph here, VL versus T. Now initially that maximum value will be there, V naught or V. Now it goes on decreasing here. So that is an exponential decay you will get. And next let us write this potential difference across resistor. So let us represent that as V, or potential difference across resistor. So now can you say potential difference across resistor means simply you can write that as IR, right? So VR is equal to I into R you can write, so that it is nothing but V into 1 minus e power minus RT by L you can write. So this is potential difference across this resistance. You can also write this as, so instead of writing like this, you can also write this as V is equal to like VR plus VI you can write, sorry VL you can write. That means instead of doing like this, you can also do like this. So then from this VR is equal to V minus VL you can write. So then V minus VL is nothing but V into e power minus RT by L. And so which is nothing but what we mentioned there, V into 1 minus e power minus RT by L you can write. So like this also you can derive here. Now this VR expression is, it is a growth expression here. So potential difference across this inductor goes on increasing, resistance goes on increasing there. Inductor it will goes on decreasing and resistance it will goes on increasing. That is potential difference equations there. And next let us write this energy and power calculations there, right? So next I am writing this energy stored in inductor. Energy stored in inductor. So you know energy stored in inductor we mentioned already, half Li square formula. So that means UL is equal to half Li square formula you can write, or just let us write it as U, half Li square. And so therefore it is half into L into I. I is nothing but V by R whole square into 1 minus e power minus RT by L whole square. So right, so that is our so which you can write this as V square by 2R square into L into 1 minus e power minus RT by L whole square. That is our magnetic energy at any instant of time. Now if I ask that rate of energy supplied to that inductor, So that means rate of change of energy. So this they will also mention this as rate at which energy is supplied to that inductor, right? So that I am taking it as power. So power supplied to the inductor. So which is, you can write this as du by dt. So you need to differentiate that equation now. So therefore this is v square L by 2 R square into the differentiation of this 2 into 1 minus e power minus RT by L into the internal differentiation R by L into e power minus RT by L, internal differentiation. So then let us simplify this finally here. So this value you can write this as v square by R. So here this L will be cancelled, here L and here L, one R square and R will be cancelled, this 2 you can cancel, v square by R into, so the remaining terms will be like e power minus RT by L minus e power 2 RT by L, because you will get square term there, right? So this is the rate at which energy is supplied to this inductor here. This is important. Rate at which energy is supplied to this inductor. Now they will ask that when that rate at which energy is supplied to the inductor will become maximum. When this value will become maximum. That is the question they will ask here. So for that just mention that if that PL value is maximum, then its differentiation should be equal to 0. And so that do that calculation. So that means after that I will write here, if PL is maximum, then d by dt of PL is equal to power supply to the inductor, PL in the sense this value is equal to 0. So differentiate that value and equate it to 0, then you will get that time value there, time at which that power becomes maximum and what is that maximum power. So do that calculation. I am not doing that. For capacitor also we did such a similar calculation. So is it clear? So differentiate that and equate to 0, you will get the T. And if you substitute the T value in that equation, then you will get the maximum PL value. Next I am writing this rate of energy stored in that resistor there. So next let us mention that after this, that means after doing this calculation. So next let us write this rate at which heat is produced. Rate at which heat is produced in inductor. So in inductor. So this value is nothing but I can write this PR, power produced or power delivered at the resistor, you can write this as I square, or you can write, so we are taking it as small I square, or you can write, or you can also mention this as power supplied by the cell minus this power supplied to the inductor. So cell is supplying some power, so that power minus that power produced at the inductor we can write there. So that difference also, just by using conservation of energy, so the difference also you can write there. So any one of this method you can follow this, then you will get this equation as v square by R into 1 minus e power minus RT by L whole square, right? So then this will be our equation here. I value just I am substituting there, then v by R whole square you will get, then 1 R will be cancelled. So then this is the equation what you will get there. Then even if you add these two values PL and PC, then this is our PL value. If you add those two values PL and PC, then you will get power supplied by the cell. Power supplied by the cell is nothing but you can write just VI, where V is nothing but this potential difference there, and I is nothing but what we derived there. That means V by R into 1 minus e power minus RT by L. So VI also you can write, that is power supplied by the cell. So this is the energy calculations related to this. So then in a similar calculation, that means we need to do such a similar calculations in case of decay of the current. So try to derive an expression for the decay of the current also, That means now simply I will give this description, so try to derive that. Decay of current. So decay of current means then already some current is flowing in this inductor, the maximum current will be there. So after reaching that maximum current, then cell is excluded from this. That means only these two will be connected here. So after reaching some maximum current I naught is the maximum current, for example, this is L and R. Now the cell is excluded from this. That means that circuit arrangement you may consider like this. That means to get this situation there, you may consider the situation as the circuit if you are taking like this. Here you may consider like a two-way key here. So like initially A, B, C, for example, if I consider, then initially say A and C are connected. When A and C are connected, then maximum current will goes on increasing, what we discussed now. After reaching the steady state, then AC is removed and the switch is shifted to AB. Then this will be the circuit here. So that circuit I am drawing there. Now the current in that inductor goes on decreasing. So now that is nothing but decay of the current. So at any instant you may consider that current as some I. Then again apply the Kirchhoff laws, and then we need to derive an expression for current at any instant and potential difference, and this energy calculations we need to do that. So try to do that, or otherwise I will explain that in the next class, right? Thank you.